Hello and welcome back. Well, it's official. My bike can no longer be considered new because today it has its very first MOT. Oh, so proud. So I thought before we go, I'd have a little look through the list, see what's on the MOT, just see if I can spot any potential problems. Not that I've got time to do anything about it, but we'll have a little look. Here's what's covered on the MOT. Right, let's look through each thing in turn. So we'll look at the lights, their condition, that they work properly, that they're secure, that the headlamps are the correct colour, the rear lights, indicators and reflectors. The headlamps will also be checked to see if their aim is correct. We need to adjust that in another video, but just the quick version for now. There's a little nut under here that we can loosen to tilt the lights. Let's just check they're all working. Main beam. Yep. What did it say? Their condition, they work properly, they're secure. The headlamps are the correct colour. Yep, fair enough. Right, steering and suspension. We need to check their condition. That forks, handlebars, grip mountings, head bearings, swing arm, shock absorbers and damping effect are all secure and working properly. We tested the shock absorbers and the dampening before, just pushing down on the springs. Yep. And then one thing I do want to check is the head bearing. So inside here, this bearing here, which the steering swivels on, it could actually be supporting a lot of weight. The whole front of the bike is kind of leaning down on it, and over time that bearing may wear. So as we turn the bars left and right, we're feeling for any kind of notchiness in the bearing here. You might just feel if it's wearing out, a little click, probably in the center position. I can't feel anything. And then with the front wheel off the ground, if you pull on the forks like this, yeah, there's no movement there at all. But if that steering bearing is worn, the whole front of the bike will sort of move just a little bit like that, and you would feel a little play. I can't feel anything. Next up is wheels and tyres. They need to be inspected to check their condition, that they're secure, the size and type, correct fitment, tread depth and the valve condition. Well, I'm pretty sure we've got the right size and type because they're the original tyres. But we will have another look at the tread, which needs to be 1 millimetre deep. There are little wear markings, wear indicators there. That's more than 1 millimetre. I like to change the tyres before they're almost illegal, but they should be fine. And I know the valves are in good condition. I use them to check and top up all the time. Also looking for no bulges or cracks in the side of the tyre here. Now they'll check the wheel bearings, and this is quite hard to do without taking the wheel off completely, but as you turn the wheel in different positions, well, because the steering turns anyway, the only way you can really rock the wheel is like that. So I'm going to just try and tip the wheel sideways, or I can't. Let's turn it 90 degrees. No. Again, this is hard for me to detect, but on cars at least, I have had wheel bearings wear out, and as you turn the wheel and kind of grip it and try to rock it, you can feel a tiny bit of play, which I can't there. Let's try the back as well. No, can't feel anything there. We need to check the frame is free from cracks, damage, distortion or corrosion which is likely to affect the steering or braking. So I'm just going to look around, and especially like here where there's a weld, any cracks in the paint might indicate a weld that was damaged or unreliable. And any corrosion, well, the bottom of the bike looks a bit old. There's a little bit of corrosion on the stand, but that's not very important. Looking at the swing arm. We need to take more time over this really, but I think we're okay from having looked at the bike lots. Okay, under braking it says to inspect the condition, the operation and performance, and the brake controls. I don't know if they have a rolling road type situation for motorbikes. Obviously they do for cars, but we've checked the brakes many times, checked the thickness of the pads there. We've got the wear indicator on the rear drum, which we've talked about before, and they work fine in daily riding, so I'm sure we'll pass the rolling road system. Okay, and check the exhaust to check it's secure and complete and it's not noisy. So running the bike, there's no sound of leaking exhaust. If you get a hole in the exhaust, you can hear a sort of blowing sound. And it's not an aftermarket exhaust that's unnecessarily loud. I don't know how loud it would have to be to fail an MOT, but this one's fine. We need to check the fuel system for leaks and the security of the components. Well, we haven't seen any fuel leaking, and looking around underneath, nothing is loose, so I'm happy with that. Look at this, we need to check for the presence of a rider's seat and that any seat is attached securely. Yes, we're fine. Wheel alignments to check for the correct alignment of front and rear wheels. Well, that happens when we tension the chain, and we've got a separate video. See how good I am at that now? About how to do that. Sidecars when fitted, nope. The horn, check it works properly and is suitable for the vehicle. Yes, it does. Registration plates, vehicle identification and frame numbers. Check they're present and legible. Yes, they all are. I'm not going to show you my frame number. Drive chain and sprocket. Right, let's check the chain isn't too loose, tight or worn. We've done that regularly. Check the sprockets aren't too worn. Now this might flag up. The chain is a little bit worn, and as you know, I'm getting ready to do that. It may be an advisory. I doubt very much it will fail. But even if it did, I'm about to do it. You could take it back. And it says check that the chain guard is secure. Yes, it is. Check the throttle to ensure that it works properly. And we've done this before, just check the spring return brings it back when you release it. Check the clutch lever isn't so bent, damaged or shortened that it can't be easily used. Well, there is a little scratch, but it's fine. And finally, the footrests to make sure they're present and fitted securely. Let's just see. Yes. So all in all, I'm pretty confident. I don't think we'll have any major problems. I'm going to a place called C B Mann. Let's go. Okay, we're on our way to a little bike mechanics. It seems like a little family-run place, which is nice, that people recommended. And it's round the back of a shop that sells, I'm supposed to know the name but I don't, that sells bikes and bike parts and scooters. I got chatting to the guy actually before the France trip, and he told me he rode his classic Lambretta all the way to Belgium, and I thought, oh my god, what an amazing journey. And then that's partly why I thought I could do it. I've got £30 cash because not everybody likes credit cards, and I want to also remember to ask the guy if he fits tyres. I'm sure he does. And then in the shop I want to ask him if they buy scooters, because we need to sell my wife's Vespa. Do you want to buy a Vespa? I mean, I might have sold it already, as I keep promising her I will, but if I haven't, well, I'll insert some pictures here now. Now I know it might have been a few weeks for you if it took me a long time to do the editing, but it's actually only the morning after I got back from the York trip. And the bike, man, it feels lighter without any luggage at all. It's nice. Oh, it's so slow. Oh, I know. I'll speed it up for you. There we go. Come on. Whee. $30. Oh, thank God. Left at McDonald's. That was the only instruction I was holding in my head for directions. For all the rest, we're just using the force. Right, we're nearly there. Let's just talk about the MOT for a second, what it is and what it isn't. It is a test of a vehicle's safety features. It's required by law, and it's just to test that your vehicle is safe. It is not a complete and thorough test of the quality or reliability or value or serviceability of a vehicle. And people say, oh, it's had its MOT, so I know it's all good. That's not the case at all. They check things like brakes and lights and seat belts and so on. Hello. But they don't check the engine, the gearbox. There are lots of things that aren't even on there, like the reversing light. You don't even have to have one. So it's just a sort of a mandatory test that the vehicle is kind of safe, but you can't rely on it to show that the vehicle is in good condition. You also need to have it serviced properly and really just be aware and keep an eye on things yourself. Right, here we are, King's Heath. MOT guys up there. Chasman. Right, let's go. Oh, side step. Oh, this is fun. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks so much, see you in a bit. Bye. Friendly chap. Yeah, they fit tyres. And he says, you buy your own from blackcircles.com or somewhere and bring them and they'll fit them. Right, let's have a look in the shop. Let's go. What a helpful chap, eh? Oh, bike passed, obviously. And as I thought, he said the tyres are close to the limit and there are tight spots on the chain, which we knew. And he had some helpful advice. He said, make sure you get a heavy-duty O-ring chain because it will last so much longer. He said the length of time it lasts is so much more than the standard chain. I can't remember which I bought now. Maybe I did. We'll have a look. Yeah, we did. And tyre fitting, he says £30 for the front and $35 for the rear. And you buy the tyres yourself, which is quite reasonable. So I've yet to decide if I'm doing it myself, but I know people would like to see how it's done, but you choose what you want to do, don't you? It's like I keep saying, even if you don't do the job yourself, a little bit of knowledge is a good thing. So even if I know how tyres are changed, but I haven't actually done it, it means I know what to expect, what it should cost, what the chap will be doing, that kind of thing. So I spent a while in the shop there chatting with the guy inside. Rocky is his name. He was an interesting fellow. He said they can sell the Vespa for us. They don't want to buy it, but they can have it in the showroom and sell it for a commission. and all the stories about the bikes and people they meet. Gave them both a sticker, obviously. Spreading the word. Oh, and I had read somewhere that this bike unusually uses a 420 chain, but that a 428 chain would fit, and he said no way, definitely not, 420 wouldn't fit this bike. So I don't know the difference, but I feel confident the 428 that I bought, it will fit. The only problem with the uncertainty is you've got to take everything apart long before you discover that the new one won't fit, and so if you've done that, you can't put the old one back on again, so you'd be stuck without the bike. None of this is a major problem if you also have a car. Yeah, the chap was showing me a MASH 125 that they were selling, which is pretty much brand new and had only 12 miles on the clock, because someone bought it and then sadly found out they couldn't drive anymore. They'd lost their license, and so it's in the shop practically brand new with 12 miles on the clock. And then as we were chatting, a young couple came in, and the lad said, "Oh yeah, we're looking for a 125," and I saw a little glint in his eye. So I said, "Right, I'll leave you to it." And then went to collect the bike. Well, I hope that was interesting for you. Thanks again for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye.